systems still need to be brought online.
Our initial satellite data identified the location of the primary anomaly, along with dozens of secondary targets. We will take a northern route, skirting the Belladin Formation. Doing this, we will avoid Gaussian territory and the worst of the deep desert heat. We will then cut south to the primary anomaly, the main goal of our expedition. As Chief Science Officer, Rachel Sajet will sample, analyze, and provide intelligence on these objects as we move deeper into the desert. The carrier Sakala has confirmed they are moving east with significant force and are expected to meet us at these coordinates. East of Cape Wrath, a place known as Hell's Gate.
It's an emergency transponder beacon. Could be the Sakala.
Push ahead and search for the Sakala.
Alert. Sandstorm conditions in effect.
Be advised, Gaussian combat patrols may be in the area. As we push forward, keep your eyes open.
Engineering reports the Kapisi's primary shunting systems are now online. Power may now be shunted to weapons, armor, repairs, and long-range targeting systems.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Deserts of Kharak. So, we can now shunt power around to the carrier,
Weapon range systems
and we
currently
will
active.
activate her weapons and her armor.
Confirmed.
And if we go out to the sensors manager here,
Go for carrier.
Reduced sensor visibility is obscuring the location of the signal beacon.
Alright, so we are in the middle of a sandstorm. Let's start moving out.
Reading you.
As you can see, the Kapisi is basically getting sandblasted by the storm here.
Armor moving out. We're moving
I wonder
out.
how much time they actually need to spend like repainting all of these vehicles. They must be carrying around a substantial amount of yellow paint in the paint lockers.
Salvage array ready. On our way.
Idle hands, bored sailors, you know the deal. Give them something to do or they're going to get into trouble. But with their weapon systems now online, the carrier represents a significant amount of firepower actually. She is capable in combat. And we will make use of that in this particular mission.
Cruiser reading.
All we're really doing here is just moving through, you know, a small series of canyons.
Unknown inbound. Designated
And we have our first contacts here. They're right on these dunes.
I'm having trouble locking onto enemy units.
Enemy light attack.
They're using the dunes to break line of fire and gain a height advantage.
We got something.
Recommend using their own strategy against them. Gain the high ground and use the dunes for cover.
Support on that position.
Alright, we shall do that.
Armor vehicle taking effective
You notice that
fire.
little blue plus sign next to units. That means they have a height advantage. So terrain does play a factor in this game, line of sight. And if they have that blue plus next to them, they have a height advantage, which basically enhances the effectiveness of their weapons.
Strike craft ready. Destinations.
Intel, I'm detecting raw materials nearby that can be used for fleet production. Carrier repair.
Copy that, Rachel. Recommend commencing resource operations.
Negative hostile contacts for your sector.
So yes, I mean the idea being that if they have a height advantage over other units, they can fire down onto the unit. Presumably the armor on top of these vehicles is a little bit thinner.
Some of the raw material here appears to be meteorite. They're abnormally rich in RU.
This resource is extremely rare on Kharak and is used in the fabrication of advanced vehicles. Be advised, RUs will allow armored assault vehicle production. Armored assault vehicles are designed to suppress smaller, lighter craft. However, ranged munitions can still pierce their hulls. Light assault vehicles can evade ranged fire. Employ them against long-range units.
This is EC-977.
Yes, very good. All right, so you notice we have two different types of resources here, the blue triangles and the orange triangles. The orange ones are just kind of your standard, you know, RUs that we're used to in Homeworld. The blue ones are more rare, and they're used in fabrication of more advanced vehicles, as they said. So some vehicles that you produce will require both a certain amount of, you know, regular RUs and the advanced RUs. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, if you notice up top there in the top right, we have two different RU counters.
Armored assault vehicle fabrication online.
Begin constructing armored assault vehicles as soon as possible.
Yes, sure. All right, so we are going to snag up these RUs. We don't get a whole lot in this mission, but enough to at least build up the fleet a little bit more.
These destroyed units are coalition vehicles. Weathering indicates they've been exposed to the desert for years. Intel, be advised. The beacon signal is getting stronger. We must be getting closer. I've managed to get a bead on the transponder beacon and have narrowed its location to this area. There's still no way to know if it's the Sakala.
Rachel, form up with an escort and search for the source of the coalition signal. Proceed with caution.
Copy that, Intel. We'll prep our equipment as we go.
Alright, so presumably because of the sandstorm we're in, we cannot launch any aircraft. We don't even have any ability to use aircraft right now, or build any.
Ready for assignment.
Probably we had to get pretty close to that signal to be able to detect it. Remember, we are searching for the Sakala. We were supposed to link up here at Hell's Gate. Luckily, in these canyons and whatnot, they're all wide enough for the carrier to successfully navigate and traverse. Like, there's no area that's so narrow, like, oh, we can't go any further with the carrier. There are areas here where the carrier cannot move, so it's kind of stuck. You see this big sand dune coming up here on our starboard side. The carrier cannot go up that, so it will be restricted in its where it can go in this mission.
Armor systems active.
We also have some more RUs up there.
Crafts in vicinity. Wind is picking up out there. Keep an eye
We're
on
going
it.
to send Rachel up ahead to scout.
Good copy. Running check-in. All systems green. Cruiser reading.
And we're going to get the other units up there for security as well.
Intel, I've located the source of the signal. It's an abandoned coalition carrier. It's been here for a while. My team and I are heading inside. Delay salvage operations until we complete a search of the vessel.
Copy that. Rachel's team has begun to investigate the derelict carrier. We're exposed as long as we hold position here. A defensive perimeter must be established in order to protect Rachel and her team.
Dunes are blocking the carrier's access to the derelict.
Understood. Smaller craft, you are clear to approach the derelict.
Move. Let's go.
Kapisi, go ahead.
Alright, so it's not the Sakala, at least we don't think, but it is another carrier, partially buried in a sand dune.
Intel, I found an ID number inside the ship. Sierra Charlie 7208.
Copy. Running it through the computer. Stand by. Rachel, you're aboard the Sajet carrier Ifrit Naval, part of the Coalition's lost expedition.
This is my brother's ship. My God.
E-23. Go ahead, 2-3. We're getting lots of stoppages on the main gun. Can we just...
Continuing search, Intel. We'll keep you advised.
All detection. Visual
And here
unconfirmed.
come the Gulsian.
Armored vehicle is taking fire. Allied craft has been engaged. Provide fire support. Hostile strike craft down.
Good idea. Reading. Will do. 2-3 out.
Strike craft taking effective fire.
The Galcian are using hit-and-run tactics. Focusing on their lighter units should cause their slower, heavier units to retreat.
Opened up.
Deploy smoke screen.
Alright, so as Nathan said, the Galcian are gonna stay here and harass us. We need to... Rachel needs to stay there until she's done doing her thing. But in the meantime, we're gonna keep our LAVs and AAVs up here on this sand dune and just basically protect Rachel.
Armor online.
As I said, the Galcian are just gonna harass us for a while
Ready.
as we're up here, but we can basically just stay up here. If we destroy some of their units, notice that the larger ones kind of go off and do their own thing. But we'll just occasionally deploy smoke to block their line of sight, and we'll destroy their rail guns there.
Enemy railgun eliminated.
And when the opportunity presents itself, we'll just make our attacks and all that.
A group of sand skimmers is targeting the Kapisi's position.
The captain.
Shunt power to armor and repairs. Send units to support the Kapisi.
Units will also harass the Kapisi. Remember that she's blocked by that sand dune on her right side.
The Galcian have been here already. There's extensive interior damage. I'm detecting a unique signature coming from inside one of the bulkheads. This may be what the Galcian were searching for. Beginning bulkhead deconstruction.
Armor confirms.
Go for carrier.
Armor systems inoperative. Be advised. Carrier repair systems online.
Enemy armor on
Alright,
approach.
so
Hostile
obviously
light
the
attack
carrier
vehicle
cannot go any
partially
further.
on
You can just
position.
park it right there. And the
Armor
carrier
vehicle
is
taking
capable of
effective
defending
fire.
itself, so that's good.
Rachel, more Galcian reinforcements are inbound. Return to the Kapisi immediately.
Vehicle is under fire.
Negative intel. We found a piece of unidentified technology grafted into the carrier's sensor array. Keep us covered while we extract this artifact from the bulkhead.
Move it! Roger that. We'll deploy additional units to cover you. You need to hurry.
Understood. Give us 5 minutes. That should be enough time.
Give me a smoke screen and be ready.
Well, Rachel's got all the units covering her,
ready.
so we have no additional units. I mean, we can technically build more, but I'm gonna hold off on that until a little bit later in the mission.
PC, go ahead.
It won't take Rachel too long to do this.
Carrier copy.
Again,
Hostile
just
on
anytime
sensors.
she gets attacked,
Authentication
you just need to
pending.
deploy
Proceeding.
smoke to block their line of sight so they won't shoot at her. To reiterate, since she is the main character, you want to keep her alive.
Hostile range craft destroyed. On our way.
Galcian ranged units engaging the Kapisi. Shunt power to the weapon range and damage systems to hold them off.
Carrier repair systems are unavailable. Armor systems active.
As you can see, the Kapisi there has missile launchers, so she can use those to good effect.
Intel, science update. This artifact is composed of the same materials as the orbital fragments recovered 45 years ago, but this is no fragment. Until this moment, we have never seen this technology fully intact and functional. We need to secure it immediately.
Copy that, Rachel.
The Ifrit and the Bow's crew had it jury-rigged into their sensor array. Okay, I know what they're doing. I think I can merge it with our systems and greatly enhance our sensor capabilities.
Hostile light attack vehicles detected.
Designated target.
Armored vehicle is taking fire. Copy.
Alright, so once these LAVs make their attack, I'll just pull them back up onto the dune because there's a support carrier there, and any damage they take, it can repair them, of course.
Allied craft has been engaged.
Rachel, what's your status?
Intel, I figured out the wiring. Should speed us up considerably.
Roger that.
Armor
Hostile
going.
railguns have opened up.
Deploy smoke. Deploy smoke.
Support crews are under attack. Immediate fire support on that position.
We'll say the sport cruisers are mighty handy in this game. Much better than the sport frigates we had in Homeworld 1, or the collector repair capabilities in Homeworld 2.
Intel, we're almost there. Stand by for our extraction.
Warn Rachel, more Galcian are bound to show up. You need to hurry.
Copy that.
Two of the Kapisi's missiles can take out one of those rail guns. Yeah, see, it knocks it down to about half health.
eliminated. Fire. Full power.
As we move throughout the
Hostile
game, the
strike craft
Kapisi
down.
will gain more power and more ability to shunt power around. Its abilities will only increase. Rachel's almost done here.
Confirmed. Let's move.
Let's pull everyone back.
We're moving out. What do you need? Secure us for move. Cruiser reading. Destination set. Move us out.
Kapisi, science team is en route. We've extracted the artifact along with the carrier's backup data drive.
Good work, Rachel. I'll have receiving crews standing by.
Stand by to power up the recovered artifact. Initiating sensors modification now.
Sensor efficiency has been greatly increased, and interference from the storm has been filtered out.
Excellent. Contact range increased.
With our sensors now operational, we've detected a hostile cruiser supporting the enemy offensive. Engage and destroy the enemy cruiser.
Systems ready.
Holding.
Resources are scattered throughout the area. To collect them efficiently, we need support cruisers deployed alongside our salvagers. Kapisi fabrication facilities can now be upgraded to produce support cruisers.
Science officer responding.
Strike craft ready. Destination set. Carrier here.
Idle operators, run idle system protocols while on station.
Go for carrier. Copy that. We'll send the report through once it's finished.
Rachel, Galcian units seem to be using some kind of shared network to communicate with each other.
We might be able to use that to our advantage if I can find a way to hack in. I'll have to analyze their system architecture. Could take a few days.
Roger that.
Salvager online. Support cruiser fabrication online.
Begin constructing support cruisers.
Salvager online.
Mobilization. Salvage array ready.
Alright, I've built 2 more salvagers, and we're gonna go salvage stuff, get some RUs, right? I'm not gonna build another support cruiser just yet, because we don't quite have the money. I'm gonna spend some time doing research, sucking up all the RUs in the area.
Kapisi, unidentified contact. Designate as hostile.
And we will, of course, take some occasional
repair systems
harassment
are
from that,
unavailable. Armor
from units
systems
that
active.
cruiser is building.
Rachel, we've located abandoned Coalition railguns, part of the Ifrit Nabal's fleet. They're damaged, but recoverable.
Roger that. We can use our support cruiser's repair beam to bring them back online.
To produce more railguns, upgrade the Kapisi's fabrication facilities.
Get that unit back online. Move.
Kapisi reading.
Alright, so we have,
Seal hatches.
let's see, several railguns here we can just repair and automatically add to our fleet, and that will be nice. I will say they are awfully chatty in
Go for carrier.
these first
Hostile
couple of
light attack
missions.
vehicle detected. We've got hostile on center.
And here comes some units to
Alert,
bug
Rachel
us.
is under fire.
They won't present much of a problem, just be ready to take them out.
Strike craft destroyed.
Note
Alert,
that we
friendly
do not
tank
have
hostile
any
vehicle is
control
under fire.
over the formations that these armored units are traveling in. However, the
Enemy
units
armored
do
disabled.
typically move
Carrier
in
copy.
kind of line abreast
Armor systems
formation,
inoperative.
or
Be advised.
whatever
Carrier repair
is
systems online.
appropriate, kind of on their own volition. Now, I'm not an armor officer, but formations in armored warfare do generally count for something. There are such things as formation in
Awaiting
armor.
orders.
We're clear
And
to
basically, you know, the
That
whole
unit is
history
down.
of, like, when you
Get
look
it
at,
back
like,
up and
tanks and armored vehicles,
Acknowledge.
it's kind of, it's based on, you know, naval jargon, right? It's called a
See,
hull and a
exhausted.
turret, you know, things like that, so. Because I think tanks were originally a Royal Navy invention,
Ranged online.
but of course they became
Fleet
part of
group
land
tree
warfare,
assigned.
right? The origin of the term tank was that, oh, they're water tanks, you know, on treads,
copy.
so they can just move around, you know, they use to haul water,
way to new
you know,
sector.
so that's why they called them tanks, you know, because the
Cruiser
Royal
ready.
Navy said,
Roger.
oh yeah, they're water
Displacing
tanks.
now. Maintenance
Yeah,
protocol
no, they're
active.
actually armored vehicles, right? But yeah, that's the origin of that's why we call them tanks, but yeah, so it's, thank you, Royal Navy, for that invention. I mean, who would have
Ready.
known the Royal Navy invented
Ready.
water?
All systems green.
Control Control Group 3 designated.
Anyway, so we're going to make them Group 3, and once we're done repairing them, we're just going to consolidate all of our vehicles. The resourcers, the salvagers, and the support cruiser over there gathering the resources, they will not be harassed by the Galcian, so we really just have to worry about the Galcian coming from this particular direction. Anyway, as I was saying, you know, formations do generally count for something in armored warfare, from my understanding, especially in an open area. So I recall reading, for example, about the Battle of 73 Easting during the 1991 Gulf War, where the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment, which was part of the 7th Corps, advanced through the desert of southern Iraq, which is mostly relatively flat and featureless, you know, so it's kind of like an ocean in that way. But they were moving in a box kind of formation, and they took a lot of their inspiration for their tactics from Erwin Rommel. But they found that as they moved through the desert, they needed scouts ahead of the formation in order to give enough warning.
Fabrication online.
Begin constructing railguns and use them against Galcian armored units.
Okay, yes, we'll do that. We're gonna do all these upgrades, right? Sport cruiser repair speed. We're eventually gonna get the railgun Sunder ability. But anyway, the Armored Cavalry Regiment found that they needed scouts ahead of the formation in order to give it enough warning for when it needed to turn, because it was difficult to maneuver in such a formation.
Research completed.
So armored vehicles, from my understanding, don't just kind of move helter-skelter however they want, right? They need to know where each other is in the formation, and the formation itself can be fairly spread out, right? Unlike in movies, they're not like just moving around right next to each other. That makes them a really good target for artillery, so you don't want to bunch up too much.
Carrier repair systems are unavailable. Armor
Again,
systems
just
active.
reference, you know, any of Nicholas Moran, the Chieftain's YouTube videos. He's an actual, like, armor officer.
Alert, Kapisi carrier taking fire.
Sector operators, contact report.
Hostile strike craft down. Board has been updated with hostile trackers.
Another thing about this game is, unlike Homeworld 2, you cannot form strike groups with your units. I mean, you can, of course, make groups of mixed units, but they don't operate on the strike group logic that Homeworld 2 units could.
Control Group 3 designated.
So in a way, the groups in this game play more akin to like the groups in Homeworld 1.
Online.
Which I guess in a way makes kind of sense, you know. Maybe the whole strike group tactics was an evolution, you know, of tactical doctrine by the time of Homeworld 2, but you know, this is a prequel to Homeworld 1, so maybe they haven't developed that tactical doctrine yet. They're not as advanced yet or something.
Go for carrier. Hostile light attack vehicle.
Furthermore, I guess you're not really playing in a lot of flat, featureless areas. There's usually some terrain in the game, so I mean, moving around in formations maybe isn't totally necessary, for better or for worse.
Enemy armor disabled, cleared for move. Ready.
Alright, so I got nice even numbers here. There we go.
Fleet Group
We
1
got
assigned.
10 LAVs,
All systems green.
CU deposit
8
depleted.
AAVs.
Carrier here.
And if I can, I want to get a couple more railguns. There we go, we'll see a railgun come out of the Mystical Blue factory. Plops down onto the sand right there.
Railgun operational.
Green.
There we go, you sir can join Group 3.
Armor confirms. Acknowledged.
Fleet Group 2 assigned.
There we go, we got 10 AAVs.
Kapisi read.
And let's build one more railgun.
Operators in sector, we are showing no hostile contacts at this time.
Ready.
Please confirm.
Fleet Group 3
Alright,
assigned.
now we got 6
clear.
railguns. Good, nice even number.
Operators, please monitor overheads and update with local contact.
Confirmed. Updates in and working. Enemy light attack vehicle marked on approach.
Oh look,
Hostile
here more
detected.
come.
Visual
Shoot them.
unconfirmed. Red alert. Command carrier taking fire. Hostile strike craft down.
Alright, we're just going to spend some more time doing research, gathering up the rest of the resources, and then we'll go off, push off and destroy that production cruiser. Get the Sunder ability, which is actually a passive ability, so you don't need to activate it or anything for the railguns, which is nice. puts a little chink in the armor when they shoot them.
Railgun enhancements online.
Secure hostile light attack vehicle detected.
Alright, we got all of the goodies collected.
Carrier taking fire. All section officers remain in station. Strike craft destroyed.
All call signs throttle up. Stay together, just try not to ride the
Go
wave.
for carrier.
You'll clog your intakes.
Unit transmitting. Watch your crosstalk. You're using the carrier net.
Right, I see that now. Be sure my radio operator won't make that mistake again.
Be gentle. Replacements are running thin out here.
We don't know the meaning of gentle.
I'm not gonna ask.
Good idea. I need to do some housekeeping now. E22 out.
Did you hear that radio conversation?
Steady
Yep.
pace.
Someone was using the wrong channel.
Systems online.
Needs to have a talk with his radio operator.
Displacing now.
Be gentle.
Ready.
We don't know the
Copy.
meaning of gentle.
Railgun responding. Ready. Location marked.
Runner copies.
Let's push off. Rachel,
Reading you.
please guard the Kapisi. Do you have a repair
Ready for
beam?
assignment.
We're going to bring the support cruiser up as well. I believe, from my understanding, you do need to actually collect the resources in this game. It does not automatically collect them at the end of the mission, so if you leave any behind at the end of a mission, then, well, you're screwed. That's resources that you just passed up. And in these first couple missions, resources are very tight. So you want to get as many as you can and save as many units as you can. Keep them alive. Keep your units alive. Keep Rachel alive. Keep the carrier alive, obviously.
Move.
Alright, I'm going to keep the
Salvage array
salvagers in the rear with the
Lockdown
gear.
Mobilization. Reading you, command.
And support cruiser, yep, just guard something.
Carrier
I'm actually going to move the carrier directly up towards the cruiser again, because the carrier has a good amount of combat power to it. It has some good weapons.
New heading set.
We're going to move the AAVs and railguns forward as well. And eventually I'm going to move Group 1, the LAVs, up too. But, you know, Group 1 is so quick that they'll outpace anything.
Alert, Rachel is in contact. We've entered deflection. Thanks.
Copy. CENTCOM out.
Hostile strike craft down. Strike responding. Push up to that point.
Galcian ranged forces are protecting the cruiser from an elevated vantage point, increasing their effectiveness.
Armor and
Destroying them before assaulting the cruiser should tip the engagement in our favor.
Alrighty. Well, Rachel's taking fire. Put some smoke out there. Please engage those railguns up on the dune.
Armor vehicle taking effective
We'll
fire.
take care of business here.
Reading.
Galcian cruisers are not difficult to
Armored
destroy.
vehicle has been destroyed. Warning, Rachel's hull is at 75%. We're drive, punch it!
Little mini-boss fight here.
Ready. Hostile range craft destroyed. Strike craft taking effective fire.
Galcian support cruiser destroyed. Remaining enemy units falling back. Enhanced sensors are picking up multiple enemy signatures at the extremity of our range. I've got 2 carrier-class vessels in tow.
The Galcian have located us. We have no choice. We need to keep moving deeper into the open desert. Set course for the Sarathi Basin. Once we arrive, we'll transmit to Sakala our coordinates. Engine crews, stand by to engage maximum power.
Personal log. Science Officer Rachel Sajjet, Expedition Carrier Kapisi. We found my brother's ship, the Ifrit Nabal, the flagship of our Coalition's lost expedition from 4 years ago. His fate, and that of its crew, remains unknown. What happened, Jacob? What did you find out here? What have they done to you?
Alright, so we did not find the Sakala, but we have found the Ifrit Nabal intact. No survivors. First officer logs mention secondary anomaly site. May hold answers. Changing course to investigate. Well, I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. So we're off.